And today I have one of my friends, actually, not just a guest, not just somebody who's an amazing singer and an amazing talent, but also a friend. Please welcome to now Julius Gordon.
Hello.
Or Jay Gordon. Did I too official? I was too. Did I get
my
the government name
out there? Child, they gonna get my social.
Welcome to now, Jay Gordon.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here because you know I'll be listening.
I thank you for listening. You know, because the girls dropping gems.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not your normal shade room conversation.
Right.
We're not really getting into, although, you know, we just get and talk about the things and where they matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because even some of the conversations we're having in social media, there's some really important conversations under there.
Yeah.
We'll get to some of that later. But for those that don't know you yet, tell us a little bit about Jay Gordon.
Okay. So good. I'll get the zhuzh, the
Yes, the
rundown.
zhuzh.
So I'm a singer-songwriter, anything voice related, vocal coach, dabble a little bit in voice acting, from good old Dallas, Texas.
Yes.
I always knew that I was going to do something in music. From a kid, I've always done this stuff. Never knew where life was going to take me, but, came to LA straight after college, broke. I've got that typical come out here with no money. I had $750 to my name.
Yes.
My rent was $500.
Woo.
And the gas was $187. Woo. So yeah, and the little job that I moved down here to get, I was like, this is not what I'm about to be doing. So I quit week 1.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I got a month worth of rent, so I better figure it out. So started waiting tables, and I was songwriting for just like local talent. And I had become friends with this artist that I was writing for, and she wasn't the strongest vocalist. So I was just doing stuff with her that I was doing in college with my coach. And so random got fired from my little table waiting job. And I called her because we were friends, and I'm like, girl, I done got fired. And she was like, you should start coaching, because I stopped going to the lady that I'll be going to because of the stuff you show me. And so I was like, So I had about a good 3 months of rent saved.
Wow.
So I took
This was in LA.
This was in LA. I took 3 months and I wrote the book that I used to teach. And so many people had seen me perform that when I publicized that I was coaching, I got clients like right out the bat. And the rest has kind of been history.
Baby, when I tell you, you were a game changer for me.
Yay.
Like game changer. So, you know, and it makes me emotional because I just wish someone had shared with me earlier on that the voice was just a muscle that you needed to exercise and work, and that I could find my place vocally.
Yeah.
Like, I just thought, you know, I grew up in church. And one thing that I loved about growing up in church and singing in the choir was it was one of the most hardcore classes when it comes to singing, because they know you need to hear your part.
Yes.
Do you hear that, you all?
Yeah. And they ain't gonna tell you how to figure it out, but they gonna let you know when you are not there.
So we rehearsed, and what I loved about being in that space was it was a lot about training your ear. So I had a very strong ear coming up. I learned to sight read. I learned a lot of things, but you know, the one thing I couldn't grasp was how they was doing all the runs and doing all these things, or whatever. But I, growing up, had this ethereal, like angelic voice. I always had this more different quality voice, and it was always said pretty or like what have you, but I never knew until meeting you, because I, as so many of us trans people, when you are an entertainer naturally, and then we start transitioning and realizing that these mainstream stages are not welcoming for us. The only stages we end up being able to be on are these drag stages. So for so many years, I was doing drag and lip singing to all these favorite songs that I love. Meanwhile, I want to sing. I can sing. I play the piano, but I would tell people I sing. I remember telling my drag mother I sing, and a lot of them would just laugh because I said I sing, and then when I would open my mouth, I was just so timid because I felt like I was singing for the Showtime at the Apollo with just my friends, you know what I'm saying? And you singing around some trans and queer people, you know, they're going to read, you know, if you ain't got it right. So I knew it was there. Yeah. I knew it was there. I knew it was in there. But I just felt like the environment I grew up in was not nurturing to me. And so they weren't going to nurture my voice coming out.
Honestly, it wasn't nurturing to me either. Like, I didn't really, because I grew up, my mom, I had, you know, you got to sing in the church choir and all the stuff. But it was never, I never felt comfortable there. And even to this day, anytime I go back home and I have to sing in my church, I'm never as comfortable. I never, in my opinion, do as good.
Wow.
Because the environment just was never nurturing to me. And I didn't really start learning things about my voice and honestly my own gift until I was like, I had in high school, my choir teacher, she was the one that kind of started that journey, because she was the first person to say, oh no, you have something here that needs to really be nurtured. And she's still, to this day, I still will hit her up about stuff, because she was my first coach when I was 14.
Wow.
And then from there, when I went to college, you're assigned a coach then. But I was blessed, and I loved the coach I had. And like, usually you'll change throughout I was with that man from the time I was started there to the time I left, because he showed me that what I had was special, and I didn't need to imitate anything or anybody else. Like, just lean into me.
What you have. Yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you that's one thing you got me, because what was a struggle for me for the longest time, and then we've got over that, where I know my voice. I have the highest head voice. I can hit some high notes head voice wise, but transitioning from my chest into my head voice was always it was always, you could hear me transitioning into that space. And also my head voice in the beginning was more nasally than it needed to be. It was more squawky, squeaky, you know, than it needed to be. Whereas now, if I'm singing in my head voice, you might not even know that I'm singing in my head voice. And I'll tell you that what gave me the inspiration around that was hearing you sing, because, you know, what I think that had inspired me most hearing you sing was hearing the range that you had, but then hearing you like flawlessly going to your mix, like just flawlessly, and just be running and doing all this stuff. But also as a trans person, your tone and being an alto and just kind of like being able to be in that mid space there, baby, let me tell y'all, not only is Julius my vocal coach, he's my songwriting partner, because your range, your voice, you know, where your tone is perfect to model for me. Yeah. So like, it's been life changing for me to have something. I think before I couldn't see my voice. I couldn't see the possibilities of what I could do with my voice. Being able to watch you and learn from you, and like literally have you model something for me, and then have me try to sing it right back. You know, like, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all. Okay, listen. I might not get it on the first time. But I get it after a minute. And you know what I've learned and love about the ways that we even record is we'll record a take. And when we get a good take, it's great. But now we're trying to beat that take. Or it's like, or you've done something and modeled it for me. And it really, what it comes down to is, again, I'm still expanding my muscle. You're still showing me what it can do. And I'm still learning. So y'all, I'm still learning. So I appreciate the fans of mine right now who are growing with me. Talk to me about what it looks like, because I've seen your fans. We had one of your, like, I think it was a listening party, you know, and just seeing your folks come out for you and those diehard fans. What is it, as an independent artist, what is your relationship to your fans?
The majority, like especially in LA, I think being like showing my, honestly, it's my personality. I think is what brings people. Like, yeah, people love my vocalizing and all that and all the songs and the things, but I think it's just that people have, because I'm just gonna be me all day, every day, everywhere, And I think that connection is really what draws people. Because I always say people are drawn to authenticity, and I do my best to not be nothing and nobody but me.
But I know firsthand that wasn't always the case, because that album that you put out, Z, right? That talked about how you had to go through some things.
Yes.
And, when it comes to being a queer man, where there's masculinity and certain things and expectations of you, talk to me about the challenges for you of being such a big... a biggin. You a biggin. Just a big and tall from Texas, and then having these expectations of your masculinity.
That was a struggle, and a lot of that struggle with figuring that out and really labeling that for me was tough. Specifically because it's like I kind of was getting it on both ends of the spectrum, where it was like I'm having to operate in this quote unquote straight world. But then also I'm fighting against the reality of, like, if you know me, the type of men I like are typically attracted to these very hyper masculine men. And while I can present on some days I don't want to, and some days that ain't what I feel like. I think, defining masculinity for me amidst all of that was like a big game changer for me, just because it's just like, okay, I'm gonna stand in who I am, and then it's like whoever falls off. Whoever likes it. Who don't, and that's okay. And
what would you say to people who feel like, man, I always wanted to sing, but I don't know.
Do it. Just do it. Like I always tell all of my clients, I always be like, look, girl, if you're going to be wrong, be loud and wrong. Just get out there and just do it, because you don't know you really don't know what you're capable of if you're sitting at home like pining over it. Like, just dive in, and if it's wrong, so what?
Well, and what I always say is this: as an actor, one thing that I've learned about, I grew up in the days Amanda Seals talks about, where when you're a multi-hyphenate, it's because, at least at our age, when you're starting to be in your 40s, like me, we come from the time of, like, you had to learn everything. Yeah. So we did a little bit of tap, we did movement, we did voice, we did, we did all of the things. But one thing I know about music, Mary J. Blige tells a story.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige tells a good story.
And she's honest. It's the authenticity. People gonna always attract to it.
No, it ain't about specific notes and skill, because sometimes it ain't all, But what I know about singing is it's about being a good storyteller.
Yeah.
So if you can be a good storyteller with your voice, that's why I love to hear that you're now crossing over into voiceover work. What's that been like?
Oh, that's been a journey. So I've landed a couple of gigs. I didn't realize she's one I got slapped in the face.
Yeah.
With the realization that, this is its own art form, and I need to respect it and learn things. 'Cause baby,
I had the same situation. Yeah. I'm not going to say, but let's just say, your girl got let go from a job when she wasn't giving them what they had wanted. Yeah,
because I didn't. First of all, when I started doing it, I didn't know that they did live auditions. I thought you just send in, like, they send you a script, you read your script, you send those takes in, they say yes or no. Child, I had submitted my tapes. Then I get an email back, we want to see you, like, on a Zoom or whatever. Wait a minute, girl. So I did that, and when I tell you, I when you're doing something and you just know I am tanking this. It was so I didn't know how to communicate things with my voice in that way.
Right.
Like, he's like, be condescending, girl, I don't know what that means for this kind of
For this kind of
vocalizing.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, okay, I need to take a class or something before
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
So if I've been doing more things voiceover wise that require like singing because I know that realm until
Like
I take a real class.
Wasn't there like a choo-choo train or
it was one. It's called Station Little.
Oh my goodness.
That's been my favorite so far. And that one is mainly singing, and I love because like they made all the cartoons look like the people that sing the song. So that was cute. That one was great. And the other one I've done is like I did one where it's like, you know, those little online card games or whatever. So I'm like one of the voices of one of those characters.
Oh, wow.
So that one was like a lot of like, ugh, and you know, like little grunts.
Listen, it's all work, people. This is all work and it all adds up. Okay, so before we go to, I want to talk about you and I have 2 songs that we are preparing to release. One of those songs I want to talk about first is, you know, a song that I feel like is really needed in the sense of I think right now people are feeling defeated. People are feeling like they don't know what to do, feeling disempowered. And I love the song that we wrote, Lift You Up, because it really is speaking to that essence of even if you don't have it right now, let me be.
Let me
be that person who can come by and lift you up. You know, I think, so what is the first verse is, what do you say in the first verse?
What is it? Around here, what is it? We don't hang our head down. Ooh, I gotta sing.
Yeah, so around, you can sing a little bit. How does it go a little bit?
Right.
How's it go a little bit?
Around here, we don't hang our head down. You don't have to hide who you are. Don't be afraid now. It's okay to come as who you are. So yeah.
Yeah, so keep going. What's the next part?
What is it? You're not alone. Nothing's wrong with the life you're in.
Clear your eyes.
Clear your eyes.
See the world through a different lens. Even if you believe you don't deserve,
it's
baby,
already
yours. Like, and remember when we were writing that all together, it was me, you, Elante, the producer that was producing the song, and just everything just started, it just felt so good. It felt, you could feel it all flowing out, just saying, even if you don't believe it right now, you know, and then, you know, and then I do a feature. This is the one where I feel like this song, this is going to be Julius' hit summer record.
Okay.
Listen, I'm still giving y'all his government name. This is going to be Jay Gordon's summer hit, and I'm going to be featured on it. And when I come into the song, I'm like, round here, we don't never dim our light. We turn it up and make it shine brighter.
Period.
Round here, we don't just walk that walk, we talk that talk. We work, we serve.
Period.
Everything
everything
you earn,
you deserve it.
Own it, you deserve it. Yeah, everything you earned it, own it, you deserve it. Go and take your place in the light. So it literally is this place of when someone else maybe can't even see it for themselves, of speaking life into someone else and saying, let me lift you up. If you can't feel it right now, then lean on me to lift you up.
Yeah.
Was there a time when you needed that person?
Oh God, yes. I even talked about, you know, in the Z project, the years that I was going through that, I had never really leaned on anyone, because I have always been one of those people, you know, I'm a Leo, so we got to have it all together to the world all the time, all day, every day. But that was a moment in my life where I was like, child, I can't even pretend to have it together, because what I was going through at that time with that breakup and all that, child, those were feelings I had never experienced in my life. And I'm like, child, I don't know how to get better. I don't know how to feel differently right now. And my friends literally rallied around me, and that was around the time where you and I had just been, like, literally.
Oh, baby, listen, I remember because we wrote a song, and there was a part where I needed you to, like, we were writing a song, and I know you remember, we in the thing, and I say, okay, sing this. Should we do this melody? So you start singing, and the words were, I'll never not want you. I'll never not care. I'll never not wonder, could we repair the love that's just so broken? And when you started singing that, baby, I felt you so much that I think you needed to go cry after that.
I did. Yeah, that was a time. And yeah, the people that was in my life, or that are in my life, and they've rallied around me in a way that I never had before, because I guess I had never allowed myself to like publicly show that I needed it. Even I'm pretty sure there were many times before that I needed my people to rally around me, but me and my Leo-ness, we not gonna let you know that. We gonna tell you we just got it all together and I'm fine. But yeah, that was a huge time. And then I always got to give praise to my parents, because I have the best support system.
That's so great
in the world, because when I ain't got it, they got it for me, and they believe in everything that I'm doing so much. And that's hard when because I am the antithesis of both of my parents, because my dad is like man's man and military and football and all of this, and my mama is like the churchiest of church ladies. And here they are with a black gay ass son, just out here making music. You know what I mean? So it's like, but they just literally, they love everything I'm doing, and they never hesitate to tell me they're proud of me and what I'm doing. And my mama is always like, oh, I love, like, you're creating something that doesn't exist, and you are doing something, like, you are happy with the work you do every day. And she's like, not a lot of people can say that in their life.
Yeah.
So I'm blessed, because the people around me are freaking, it's just like a lot of people don't get that.
Yeah. A lot of people don't start out with that. I mean, I would say to people, give it time though. Give it grace, because I think, especially if you're black, a person of color, if you come from a family of like immigrants, I think that the main issue is that your parents are so worried. Because in this world, it's hard to make it with these barriers that you have in your life. Once your family starts seeing that you're okay, and that you're making it on your own, I think that they start to worry less. Now, you and I also have another song we're going to be releasing. It was one that I think I started with writing. It's called World on Fire. And I cannot wait for this song to come out.
I can't wait, because she's been a long time in the making.
She's been a long time in the making. She is ready to come out because it's so timely. The lyric of the song that stands out the most to me really is the beginning. The first lyric that says, I lit the world on fire. I did it just to watch it burn. Turn up the music and watch it burn. And to me, that is that attitude that we've heard from like the African proverb of the child who burned down the village just to feel its warmth. When I think about the children of Palestine who are finding the courage when all they might have is a rock or a rocket against these big military things, and they have the nerve to strike a match. The courage, the will to say that I'm willing to be a part of the energy that needs to dismantle, to burn down what needs to be burned down and let be transmuted something new. Not just what I love about the song too is it's not just a song around burning things down, but being a part of the people who are helping to rebuild it. That's one of the like the things that we say in there: burn it down and rebuild it. What do you think when we talk about World on Fire? What are the things today, right now, as a Black queer man? What are the things that you want to see change in our world?
Oh, Jesus. So the perceptions of, and I don't, honestly, I don't know if we're moving in the right direction, I guess. But like masculine, like just the chokehold that this performance of masculinity has on like the Black community at large. Jesus.
Yeah, like, it's a chokehold.
Please let this stuff go. Like, it's so much idiotic. it's so much idiotic rhetoric that's out about all of this, and the majority of it, all of this stuff is so performative. Because the thing that always is in the root of my mind is the thought that like y'all haven't you haven't realized that it's what's keeping Black men and Black women away from each other, apart from each other.
Right.
But then also
they won't soften up.
Yeah.
Right.
But then also this reality that like when it comes to masculinity, in my mind, it's more emasculating to allow another man to tell me how I get to be and how I get to show up in the world. Like I got to act like this ain't gay because you telling me that this. I'm gonna be exactly who the fuck I am.
Absolutely.
And you gonna deal. You know what I mean? Like that to me, that's more masculine than I'm not gonna let some other man tell me who I get to be. Absolutely. And how I get to be around so I really
down with the patriarchy.
Okay. Please.
And misogyny and all these things, because folks are raising kids to have problems, to be stunted.
Yes.
Men who can't tap into their emotions, who can't, express their emotions. So I agree with you. That also desperately needs to change.
Jesus.
So when the world is just burning, constantly on fire, and it seems like every day you scroll on your feed and it's another news story about some tragedy that's going on in the world, how do you hold on to the music? How do you continue to hold on to your joy and not have a defeated sort of nature about you when so much chaos is going on?
Yeah. So it was I had a realization, I don't remember when this was. And it was a bit morbid, but then also kind of freeing in a sense. Like I had this thought one day, I was just like, we all gonna die. We are all gonna die, and nobody lays on their deathbed talking about bills, and nobody lays on their deathbed talking about, just any of these like frivolous struggles and different things that we did. Everybody talks about the times that they got to spend with people they love, doing things that they love. And I had the realization that like life is about leaning into the love. So whatever's going on, especially if it's things outside of my control, I gotta release that when it comes to my psyche, because again, I can't change that. But what I can do is invite in peace into my space, share time and space with the people that love me, because at the end of the day, those are the things I'm going to reflect on when I'm laying in my deathbed.
Yeah.
And those are the things, and how I loved on people, how I existed in the world. Those are the things that other people will reflect on when I do die.
Absolutely.
So it's just holding on to that reality that like, change the things I can, and the things I can't, release and invite in the peace and the love that I need for me to have joy every day. Because it don't help nobody else. If I'm mad all day every day about whatever, everybody else gets to go to bed at night with a smile and I don't. No, I'm finna invite in as much peace and joy as I can and need, so that I can live a life that I'm happy with at the end of it.
Y'all heard that right. That is a gem. Thank you so much just for processing, because as an artist, I think the art, the singing, the music, the talent, it helps us to process this thing called life, and I think that so many people out there don't realize that it's not just about being talented, but that you can use art as a creative expression and as therapy to help you heal from some of the stories you've told yourself, and tell yourself new stories, and write new stories in the songs and new futures for yourself. Last question. So, with no opportunity wasted, what opportunity do you want to call into your life?
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, so, what do I want to do now? Because I have been diving more so into my artist bag as of late. And I have been thoroughly enjoying like performing. I have yet to do outside of when we perform together at Pride, I've yet to do like a festival on my own. So that's something that I want to definitely invite in. I know what I want to do. I've never toured. And I want to create it some kind of way. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Who gonna give me some money to do it?
Yeah.
But I wanna tour some kind of way. So I'm gonna invite that into my space. I'm gonna usher that on in and
that's
claim
coming.
it.
I can see it, and just take advantage of the opportunity when it does come.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. And now, no opportunity wasted. We will be right back. So, like Julia said, this week I want you to lean into the love. If you are struggling this week, if it's a little difficult this week, find a moment to lean into the love. That might mean looking at if you have a partner or a significant other, if you are fortunate enough to have your parents in the picture and just picking up the phone and calling them. If it's your dogs and you are a fur mama or daddy, spending time with them. Or my favorite type of leaning into love is leaning into loving yourself. Finding ways to, whether it's a good meal, a nice long bath with candles, a audiobook, a run, a jog, just laying out in the sun. Whatever way that feels like love to you, even if you have to give it to yourself, lean into the love. No opportunity wasted.